Hello, my dear She's. Welcome to our conversations with breast cancer survivors. I'm Joy Leng from She Network. She Network is a nurturing community of women supporting each other to discover how to use their strengths as superpowers to unlock happiness, success, and make a positive impact in every area of our lives. We are a safe space to support She's in using their innate strengths to empower others and themselves while living flourishing and engaged lives. Did you know that breast cancer afflicts an estimated figure of more than 1 million women in the world, and it is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women worldwide, second to lung cancer? And did you know that 1 million afflicted women, almost 45% of these women live in developing countries? October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we at She Network would like to show our support for the amazing work that is done at Breast Cancer Foundation by raising funds to support their work so that it can reach out to more breast cancer patients in an impactful manner. So please join us in support of Breast Cancer Foundation by making a donation at giving.sg/campaigns/She Network BCF. Today, I have with me an amazing warrior who accepts and thrives despite what challenges life has thrown her way. And this phenomenal she is none other than MEI THENG. She was diagnosed with HER2 positive early breast cancer last December while she was still breastfeeding her baby. And since being diagnosed with breast cancer, she has been sharing actively her cancer journey on social media to spur other women to check on their breast health, especially nursing mothers. And MEI THENG says, treat challenges as learning opportunities where you will discover more about your own strengths and weaknesses. So without further ado, please help me to welcome MEI THENG. Hello, MEI THENG.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Joy.
First and foremost, thank you, MEI THENG, for being so courageous, coming on the show to share your breast cancer journey. And as I understand, this is your very first time being interviewed about it. Yay! Okay, so before we dive into the heavier stuff, give us a fun fact about yourself. Tell us something fun that most people actually doesn't know.
I'm natural around my own daughter, but I'm completely clueless about other children. I don't know how to act in front of them.
And yet you do some kind of support help in terms of
Yes.
nursing.
So I am a breastfeeding peer counselor and a baby wearing consultant.
Okay, so you're a breast cancer counselor.
So breastfeeding.
Oh, breastfeeding counselor, but you are feeling at a loss when it comes to other people's babies. Okay, that is pretty cute. Okay, so MEI THENG, please share with us about your breast cancer journey.
So the whole thing started last December on the 12th of December actually. When everyone is shopping on the 12th of December, there I was checking on my breast and I found a lump. And it was 3 centimeters wide, just above my left nipple. At that time, I was already breastfeeding for 37 months, or almost 37 months. So I know that it is not a blood milk duct. But yet it took me 6 days to actually see a breast surgeon about it. So we did a needle biopsy, and then the result came back was that the lump has cancer cells. So I would say that the world crashed at that time. Because I really know that I have infertility problem, I immediately underwent IVF because I really want to have more children. I was only 34 at that time, and even my girl, I conceived her via IVF. So it was quite a drastic plan, I would say, because I didn't have time to waste. um, time was of essence at that time. So I did that first, and then after that, in January, I went for a lumpectomy with sentinel node biopsy. A day later, my final diagnosis came out. So it was something called HER2 positive, stage 1A, grade 2, invasive ductal invasive ductal carcinoma of the breast. In layman terms, it's just stage 1A early HER2 positive breast cancer.
Mm.
So it was a shock, to be honest, because even though we know what breast cancer is, we don't know about the subtype of breast cancer.
Mm.
So I can still remember it was such a strange place to be, being told that you are in an early stage of breast cancer, yet that HER2 positive status means that I have to undergo chemotherapy.
Mm.
So it takes some time to absorb that information, because we often see that only if you are a later stage cancer patient, then only you will undergo chemotherapy. So I
Mm.
think even when I share my story, a lot of people were very shocked about it.
So meaning that even for early stages, you have to go through chemo
Yes.
as treatment.
The
Um,
moment you are diagnosed with HER2 positive, you have to go for it.
so I'm very curious, coming back to how you were detecting that there was a lump on your
Mm.
breast. What was it, a lump that um, suddenly came, or it was there and it was growing slowly? How was it like?
This is a question actually I asked myself after having found the lump, to be honest. Because after I found the lump, every time I shower, I can feel it, you
Mm.
know. And I was wondering why didn't I feel it before? And I
Mm.
realized that it's because being a mother, we often have a lot of maternal mental load. So we may be showering, doing our stuff in the bathroom, but our mind is not on. It's not in the present moment when we are showering.
Mm.
You're probably thinking, oh, we have to arrange for some appointments for our daughter, or buy certain supplements. I don't know, things that doesn't concern us, but it's happening outside of the bathroom.
Not present in the moment.
So I think that's why I
Mm.
have missed it.
Mm. So what was the biggest challenge for you?
My biggest challenge was actually with my own daughter because she was only 37 months old when I was diagnosed, and I felt that she was at this stage where she doesn't know a lot of things, but she can understand also.
She can sense
So,
something's wrong.
yes.
Mm.
And because she went with me to see the doctor for the first time, so I actually let her touch my lump.
Mm.
So I told her that, oh, mommy is going to see this doctor because there's something wrong with my breast. And
Mm.
and then when I found out that I have breast cancer on the 18th of December, I actually stopped breastfeeding that night. So it was a very sad time for her, I would say, because she was so used to waking up during the night and having a dream feeding. And all of a sudden I told her that it's no, it's absolutely no.
Mm.
And I can still remember how heartbreaking it was when she told me that, oh, my other breast was okay. And she wanted to feed from the other breast instead.
Mm.
It was like how smart she was, I was saying, at the age.
Mm.
And then sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
I think this is the challenge for any young mothers diagnosed with cancer because you have
Mm.
children who are depending on you. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I took care of my
Indeed.
girl after giving birth to her. So basically I am her um, security system. So when I was away from her, from when I was going to hospital, I was away from her for many hours. It's not something that she was used to, you know. So it was quite how to say, not an easy time for me also because I try to cater to her feelings. So every time I come back from the hospital, if she just want me to give a hug or she just want to sit on my lap, or I just let her be, you
Mm.
know, because I feel that she needed my presence. And I can tell you that the moment my car comes into the house, she'll be at the door saying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, mommy," and
So
that
excited.
feeling is even it still happens now.
Mm.
So
So when you
later once
went for we went for surgery,
yeah.
uh,
So when I went for surgery, it was the first time she was away from me, even during the night time, and it was for 2 nights straight. So and then after that, I know about my diagnosis later. I knew that I have to go through chemotherapy. I borrowed books from my friends, and in the books actually that talks about the mother having chemotherapy and having the hair fall. You know, so at the time, many times I find her touching my hair. I have long hair at that time, so she was touching my hair. So it wasn't easy,
yes,
and all these changes. It's not something that a child. I mean, it's hard for us even adults to take to adapt to sudden changes. So what more
yes,
a children can do?
very small infant.
Yes.
Yes, and
So
you mentioned about the separation anxiety that
yes.
she had. Yeah.
So I was trying to brace myself for the chemotherapy, but when I had my first chemotherapy session, I never expect that I will be totally weakened immediately after the session. So I arrived home quite weak. I didn't have the strength. Didn't even have the strength to eat a lot actually. And I think for a little girl who sees her mother so often, she can definitely tell there's something wrong with her mother.
Mm.
you know. And then the next day, she begins saying that she doesn't want to go to school. When I asked her why, she said she wants to stay home and take care of me. And it was very
Oh.
sweet. That I keep telling her, oh, I have, mommy is fine. Mommy will take care of herself. Or daddy is here. They take care of mommy. You go have fun. But she still refused. So in the end, we actually took her to a play therapist, and she given us some way to help her cope. You know, and then of course because of the pandemic, so we were under lockdown, and she was slowly adjusting that mommy is not as strong as she used to be, and I feel that now she has more understanding.
Mm.
Mm,
I think it's challenging for everyone, for the
yes.
child at such a
Mm,
tender age to have to join the dots. What's going on? I mean, she don't have the mental capacity
mm,
yet, and yet you have to explain to her
yes.
because she's
And I
feeling all
didn't
this.
want to hide from her too, because I didn't want
Mm.
to encourage her to keep secrets from her parents. So I didn't
Mm.
want to hide it from her too. Mm,
Yes, so many things, so many considerations that you had to take
yes.
in.
Mm.
So, what did you learn about yourself because of this journey?
I find that actually I'm a very brave person. Like somehow deep inside of me, I find that I'm brave in confronting my fears. I'm sure sometimes we all have fears, but we have to choose whether we want to ignore it or we want to confront and then do something about it. And also, once I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I find that I'm not ashamed of having it. You know, I think that is very important for me, like being brave and not being ashamed of what happened to me. You know, and to actually move forward by empowering myself with knowledge, whether in terms of knowing more about my disease, in knowing more about the treatment and their side effects, learning from others how to deal with the side effects. In fact, I felt that I often tell others that I feel blessed because even though I was experiencing the side effects from the treatments that I had, but I wasn't sick. I didn't have the normal sickness that I used to have before. When I was a healthy person. So I think that is a blessing.
I love your optimism. It's like I traded one ill for another ill, but they didn't add up. It's okay. How did your family cope with your breast cancer?
Pardon?
How did your family cope with when they found out?
Mm. So actually, I'm very lucky in that sense. So my younger sister, my only sibling, she's actually an Opgene trainee working in Ireland, and my
Wow.
husband actually is a stem cell scientist who used to work for a cancer society.
Wow.
So I have two very supportive person, one with a knowledge in women's health, and the other one in the
Yes.
cancer research or
Wow.
even in scientific research himself. So it cuts down a lot of explanation to do, And I was really lucky because my sister was actually home for Christmas at the time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good
so
timing.
yeah, it's good timing, and I left all the explanation to my parents, to her.
Mm.
Yes,
So how,
and it was I think I'm very blessed in that sense also.
so they also basically enrich your knowledge, because earlier you mentioned that I dealt with it by empowering myself with knowledge, right? And you have
Yes.
like these two experts in the house.
Mm.
So wow, you're actually blessed. Just even in the midst of adversity, you're surrounded with resources that actually
Mm.
not everyone have, and you can go
Yes.
directly to them to get more
I
advice.
actually tell my sister to come dig out your medical books and show me the pictures.
Yeah, you can learn and then empower other women, which is pretty much what you're already doing. So how have
Mm.
this journey strengthened you? What strengths do you think you have developed?
I think my mental strength has improved a lot from the time that when you found that you are diagnosed. Definitely, you will feel very upset. You will be wondering why. And then sometimes even when you are sharing others, sometimes people tend to tell you horror stories, and they really put you, down emotionally. And then even you're wrestling yourself mentally. You know, it's often so easy to give in to the darkness. You need to mentally and consciously
Mm,
pull yourself up.
mm,
And oftentimes as you go on to this cancer journey is going to be very long.
mm,
There will be time that you feel upset again, things will pull you down, or there will be anxiousness that comes in the follow-up period. We need to be mentally strong to pull ourselves back. I find that sometimes we can talk to many people, like people can give us advices, but the decision is in us to make that choice, the conscious choice to okay, let us feel what we have to feel, the anxiousness, the fear, and then what we do about it. How do we pull ourselves out from that dark hole, the dark place? You know,
mm.
I find that it's very important, and because that constant training now, I feel that it has really strengthened my mental health.
Beautiful. So I'm hearing the same thing as well from another interview, another breast cancer
Mm-hmm.
survivor who was not naturally optimistic, and she had to really constantly, consciously train herself, challenge her negative thoughts, reframe, and work on it. But when you look at her, you wouldn't know that she's not naturally, because she looks very bubbly. Then she said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, but I'm actually not naturally like that." I was like, "Amazing!" So she, because of the breast cancer journey, she trained herself to have a strong mental strength, exactly like the way you're sharing right now. So there seems to be some common threads among breast cancer survivor, from at least those that I've interviewed, that there is
Mm-hmm.
this constant rewiring to build up mental strength.
I do find that a lot of women actually go through a lot of challenges in life, and a lot of times women manage to pull through. So yes, goes to women.
Yeah.
You really do have the power.
It's all within, right? It's about cultivating it so that we can unleash it out. So I'm so
Mm.
glad that you did that, and being such an amazing example for your daughter as well. So I'm going to ask you a very interesting, fun question. How would you scale your happiness before, during, and after on a scale of 1 to 10, and why? Why the scaling numbers that you will give?
Okay. I would say it's a 3 before. During would be um sorry, let me think about it first. Probably okay. Maybe 7 before, and then 3 during, and then 9 for after would be like now.
Hmm.
So before I have the diagnosis, actually I was okay. I was having problem like business like everyone else, or you know certain issues at home. But it was life was going on. I was still alive, so I think that's why I feel that it's something to be happy about. But when I got the diagnosis, it really um, pulls you down in a very dark place, and you have to question yourself. why is this happening? And it took some time. Especially I think before I went to see a doctor, every time I was doing something, I always wonder, will that lump be life changing? You know,
Mm.
what are the pros and cons? Should I see a doctor now, or should I wait to see if it's not going to be good there anymore? Maybe it's like a wish that it will just go away. You know, but I realized that once I found out, I mean, after I go through that phase in my life, grieving over it, accepting what has happened,
Mm.
I am much happier now. Actually, you know, I can see what I am blessed with. I feel that I'm doing a lot more things, putting myself first. You know, I'm and I feel like I nurture myself even more now.
Self-nurturing.
Mm. Which sometimes we
Mm.
often forget to do.
Mm. Yes, we're so caught up with our to-do list or take care of other people, especially for women.
Mm.
We take
Yes.
care of ourselves last, if we even
Mm.
do that at all. So everyone that I've interviewed so far, the after
Mm-hmm.
number is higher than the before number. Another very interesting observation. So for you it was 7, and then after that it was a 9. And for other people, there's
Mm.
always a 1 or 2 notches up. So it seems like despite the trauma, everyone actually turned out happier after that. And that's also because of a lot of shift in perspective, a lot of
Yes.
coming back to the present moment, a lot of also
Mm.
acceptance, the acceptance piece, and also
Yes.
that, self-giving, self-nurturing piece that didn't really exist before the breast
Mm.
cancer.
Another thing I want to share is that sometimes I think for me and for some other women, ignorance is not bliss. If I have found the lump, and I just kept it. I mean, if I don't seek medical attention to find out what it is, it will be always be on my mind. You know, it will not go away, but then that thought will be in your mind. It's like, what is it? What is? How do you move on? How do you enjoy the other things in your life, the people in your life? When that thought is here. But
Mm,
what you know what the lump is, whether is it benign or tumorous, and how do you go on, with your diagnosis? I feel that you enjoy your time, whether it's for yourself or with the people around you, your family. Mm. So
mm,
I think that attribute to the happiness level also.
mm. So, what has become a gift for you because of your experience? What has empowered you?
Mm. I I still found myself very blessed, to be honest. So I feel blessed, even though I know I'm young. I feel blessed because maybe being young and undergoing the treatment gives me a better survival rate also.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
I know sometimes I don't complain about the side effects, so a lot of people doesn't really know. Like I mean, during the treatment, my friends will tell me, "Oh, how are you?" Then I said, "I'm fine, I'm fine." Then they'll have this impression that, oh, I am as normal. I mean, I am as healthy as a normal person. Then later I realized I have to tell her, I'm fine because I can manage the side effects. I don't feel burdened by it. I accept the fact that I'm a patient. I'm undergoing treatment, so it's okay to have the side effects. You know, but I feel blessed because I still can wake up in the morning. I still have another day to my life.
mm,
Just simple things like this that make me feel very blessed. And having family and friends who actually check in on me, say, "Hi, how are you?" I feel very blessed.
mm,
And I find that is maybe sometimes that is considered a gift because having cancer diagnosis is really like having a time bomb in you. It could potentially shorten one's lifespan.
mm,
And when you can count your blessing, right, then you feel like, hey, actually my life is well worth living.
mm.
no matter how many years I have.
Mm.
The numbers of years doesn't matter anymore. You can live very long, but why live long if you're unhappy, right?
Mm. Well, your happiness is 9 at the moment, so that's the pretty, very, very good space. And I keep hearing this acceptance piece from you, throughout the conversations. It seems like acceptance, the act of acceptance, the attitude of acceptance have really supported you in the whole experience. And besides, self-care and acceptance and seeking knowledge to cope, I I know that you also talk about supporting other people, and that desire to support others have also seems to support you in your recovery.
Yeah, so friends who know me would see that when I was in high school, I was already in something called welfare club. So I think I continued doing that even though when I reached adulthood. I was very active in Amnesty International. I was a youth leader. So
Wow.
I was raising awareness on violence against women. I mean, I do a lot of these things even until now. And if you ask me that sometimes when I become a breastfeeding peer counselor and even a baby wearing consultant, it's actually to help others also, to help other women like myself. Because I often find that women should support other women, you know, so that we can all grow together.
Definitely, that's what She Network is
Yeah.
for. That's why we are all here, to support one another. Why do it alone? Let's do it
Yes, and
together.
then sometimes what spurred me to even to share my story sometimes is because, so of course I have a lot of women around me. When I look at my family tree, there are only one daughter on each side of my parents' generation. But in my generation, we have many women. So then after I tell them about my breast cancer diagnosis, right, and I find that a lot of my older cousins, even my female friends, they are not checking their breast health. There are a lot of fears about even doing a mammogram, you know. And I find that because I have to go through the needle biopsy, the breast ultrasound, the breast mammogram, I feel like I have the experience to share with them that, when you're doing mammogram, how does it feel? That discomfort that you feel is just for 1 minute, but the result will give you a peace of mind. This kind of thing to encourage them to go for checkups. Even after I share, I have a few breastfeeding mother told me, "Oh, I found a lump. What should I do about it?" I find that I was supporting them to go and seek help. You know, and I feel that is so important because what I really want to do is to create that kind of awareness. To tell women that, hey, that power to take care of yourself is actually in your hand.
Wow, I love that. I can feel your heart when you are sharing, your enthusiasm in this direction, supporting women. And I think that's great because for most women, if you're having a baby for the very first time, you will be very confusing, right? Like your own body,
Mm,
but you have never experienced this before. Is this okay? Is this normal? Why am I feeling pain here? I think with someone like you to guide, it will be such a huge comfort, right? Even when you're experiencing the pain, at least you have a peace of mind. Oh, this is normal pain, or oh no, this is
mm,
something I need to look out for because this pain is unnatural. At least it's someone you can go to and ask questions, because this whole journey of having babies is already a big challenge, and to have to cope with all these questions in your head that you have no
mm.
answers to, can be very disturbing.
And I feel also one thing I really like to do is that breaking the taboo. So a lot of things I realized in my I done a lot of work with women, right? So I find that a lot of things we don't talk about it. Whether it's this infertility, miscarriage,
Mm.
cancer involving our body parts like our ovaries, our breasts, things that makes us women. There is so much shame surrounding them, these issues. You
Mm.
know, Perhaps I see myself that because I'm not shameful of these issues, and having gone through them, I feel that if I can plan or start a discussion about it, maybe things will improve, and things will improve by the time my daughter became an adult woman. Things will become
Yes,
easier for her.
definitely. Like the mommy
Mm.
is clearing the way, setting the path for the daughter so that there's a brighter future ahead of her.
Yes.
So kudos to you for doing that. And in fact, we can do
Thank
that
you.
together in She Network as well. I love your spirit. I think the acceptance attitude and you wanting to smash taboos, smash stigmas by speaking up. That's really huge piece. I'm very passionate about that as well.
Mm.
So by doing all this, clearly it has helped you to become strong and happy. So, what is your tip to she's on being a happy and strong woman?
One thing that I find very helpful is that always do self-reflection. I always believe that whether we have the same background or a different background, we can always learn from experience only if we look back into our past experiences and ask us what lessons do we find, what lessons can we gain from that, how do we feel when we were in that situation, and what can we do, and what can we do if we find ourselves in that situation again. you know this kind of self-reflection will allows you to also discover your own strengths and weaknesses. you know this is why sometimes I am not afraid of challenges. I just take challenges as this learning opportunities. This, I mean, we cannot really see what in front of us, but when the life throws you certain things, you just feel like it's a test, it's a challenge, it's an opportunity to learn. Because can you imagine if you're going through life, there is no challenges, then how will you find yourself, how will you understand yourself better? you know and then once you can understand yourself better, you will automatically feel that you are happier. you know that is what something I have learned. I mean, I know I'm not very old, but I find that having doing that in my own life has definitely served me a lot.
Mm. Your growth mindset is really a beautiful thing to witness, and I'm enjoying your feistiness, your feisty energy. I think like we really can do more. We really can use more of that to inspire and propel other women to take care of themselves better and to have self-reflection, deeper self-awareness, staying in
Mm.
the present moment more and not be so caught up with our long to-do list, which is mostly about getting things done and taking care of other people in the first place, right? We need to make time for self-reflection and to take care of ourselves as well. So then mating, what would be your self-love advice?
I find that a lot of women, including myself, we have been groomed from young to take care of others first before ourselves. You know, Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something and that recipient of the act is actually yourself? Whether is it your mind, your body, or your soul? You know, Sometimes a self love act can be so simple. You can just every month, when you're having a shower or you're in your own bedroom, just do a simple check on on your breast. You know, or if you're above 40, go for your mammogram appointments, and even some simpler, schedule yourself a time to rest. You know, give yourself time to rest. In fact, actually, sometimes doing this interview with Joy is also a self-love act for myself. Because the recipient is actually my soul. My soul actually um, wants me to share this story so that my sisters everywhere in the world, will learn about having breast cancer is possible during when you're breastfeeding or even though you have breastfed. You know, and hopefully together we can improve the survival rate of breast cancers everywhere. So, sisters, please join Joy and me in supporting Breast Cancer Foundation by donating at giving.sg/campaigns/She Network BCF. Really hope that your donation um, would make a lot of changes. You never know, because every dollar counts.
Yes. Every dollar counts, every woman matters.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Meeting, for coming on to be so
Thank you, Joy,
brave
for having me.
to share I feel very privileged to share this space with you, hear your story, learn from you, and absorb that feisty energy that you are giving out. Um, Hopefully, we can do more together in She Network. But in the meantime, indeed, please support us, join us to support Breast Cancer Foundation. Donate with the link shown, and let's do more together. Let's be well, be strong, and be together. So now we're going to end our show with our superpower pose, which is the Wonder Woman pose. Awesome. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. Please share this with all the women in your lives. And also, everyone be well and take care of yourself and the people around you. Catch you soon. Bye.